Humanity's drive towards expansion, exploration, and settler colonialism didn't begin with Christopher Columbus's discovery of the Americas. In fact, every piece of land occupied by humans results from humanity's ambition towards seeking new frontiers for resources. The Slavic migrations into Central Europe and the Bantu migrations into Central and Southern Africa can all be classified as settler colonialism, in the same light as European migrations and settlements of the Americas. Space exploration for the sake of seeking new homelands for our ever-growing population has been seen as a common-sense alternative, especially when it involves colonizing Mars or the largest moon of Saturn, Titan. But what is rarely discussed as a new frontier for humanity is the vast oceans occupying up to 70% of our planet's surface. In this video, I'll be discussing the history, possibilities, advantages, dangers, and even the effects it could have on our biology. The oldest conception of the idea for underwater cities dates to ancient Greek myths. Plato's tale of Atlantis, described in his dialogue Timaeus and Critias around 360 BCE, is one of the most famous. According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced kingdom that sank into the ocean in a single day and night. Other cultures also with myths of sunken cities include the Celtic legend of Ys, a city on the coast of Brittany that was engulfed by the sea, and the Japanese tale of Ryugu-jo, an undersea palace. Despite ancient mythical stories of sunken cities, the idea of a functioning colonial settlement underwater to the modern man is largely seen as ideas that should be relegated to works of fiction. Jules Verne's novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, published in 1870, introduced the world to the Nautilus, a submarine capable of deep-sea travel. Although not an underwater city, Verne's work spurred interest in underwater exploration. The modern comic book series Low, written by Rick Remender and illustrated by Greg Tocchini, that was published from July 2014 to December 2020 by Image Comics for a total of 26 issues, perfectly exemplifies the idea of an underwater city. Taking place in a post-apocalyptic future billions of years after the start of the sun's expansion into a red giant has made its surface uninhabitable, it follows the lives of the 2 million survivors in the underwater city of Salos, divided into factions and vying for control. And lest I forget about both Marvel's and DC's comics interpretation of Plato's Atlantis myth that have come to dominate pop culture. According to Ian Kublik, an ocean explorer and aquanaut, in an interview with the BBC, he said the technology already exists to create underwater colonies supporting up to 100 people. The few bunker-like habitats in operation today provide a blueprint. There are no technological hurdles, Kublik adds. If you had the money and the need, you could do it today. Concepts like Ocean Spiral, proposed by Japanese construction firm Shimizu Corporation, envision underwater cities capable of housing thousands of people. This project suggests a self-sustaining environment using ocean thermal energy conversion to power the city. However, what we have as practical examples of functioning underwater habitats remains underwater hotels. Hotels like the Muraka, which translates to coral in Divehi, the local language. A luxury suite submerged more than 16 feet underwater and located in the Maldivian island of Rangali are considered the best amongst many others in terms of hospitality. Establishing underwater cities presents several potential advantages, ranging from environmental benefits to new economic opportunities, and also in solving the issue of overpopulation. Here are some key benefits. Underwater cities can help address land scarcity by utilizing the vast expanses of the ocean, thus preserving terrestrial ecosystems and reducing urban sprawl. Oceans provide natural insulation, which can help regulate the temperature within underwater habitats, potentially reducing the need for energy-intensive heating and cooling systems. Properly designed underwater cities could foster marine conservation efforts by incorporating sustainable practices and serving as hubs for marine research and preservation. Access to underwater minerals and energy resources such as rare earth metals and methane hydrate could be facilitated by underwater cities, promoting new industries and economic growth. Underwater cities could become major tourist attractions, providing unique experiences like underwater hotels, restaurants, and recreational activities, boosting the local economy. Underwater farming and aquaculture can provide new sources of food, leveraging the marine environment to grow crops and raise fish sustainably. Proximity to marine environments would enhance opportunities for oceanographic and environmental research, advancing our understanding of marine ecosystems and climate change. Underwater cities can be designed to withstand natural disasters like hurricanes and tsunamis better than surface cities, offering a safer living environment. The challenges of building and maintaining underwater cities can drive technological innovation in fields such as engineering, robotics, and material science. Underwater cities can provide strategic advantages for defense and surveillance, offering discrete locations for military and scientific installations. With careful design, underwater cities can offer a high quality of life, including unique living environments, beautiful underwater vistas, and close-knit communities. In light of all the advantages listed, what should be considered the most important above all others from my point of view has to do with the solution to overpopulation. Although it would never be a permanent fix, as humanity's population, if never checked, will also continue to grow in underwater colonies. It will serve as a huge temporal fix, as the oceans occupy 70% of the Earth's surface, and the time it will take before it becomes overpopulated will be more than enough to come up with a more permanent solution. The deeper underwater you go, the greater the pressure. Human bodies would need to adapt to living under constant high pressure, which could affect various physiological systems. Adaptations to avoid decompression sickness, also known as the bends, would be crucial. Extended stays might alter the body's tolerance to pressure changes. Prolonged exposure to high pressure might affect bone density, potentially leading to changes similar to those observed in astronauts experiencing microgravity. Natural light would be limited, affecting circadian rhythms and potentially leading to vitamin D deficiencies. Exposure to low light conditions might lead to adaptations in human vision, potentially increasing sensitivity to low light or leading to other changes in visual acuity. The buoyant environment could reduce weight-bearing activity, impacting muscle mass and strength. Similar to the effects seen in space, the lack of regular weight-bearing exercise could lead to muscle atrophy, requiring specific exercise regimens to maintain muscle mass. The underwater environment would expose inhabitants to different microorganisms, potentially affecting the human microbiome. Adaptations in the immune system might be necessary to handle new pathogens or reduce exposure to terrestrial microorganisms. Access to fresh food might be limited, leading to a diet that relies more on preserved or marine-based food sources. Risks of nutritional deficiencies might increase, requiring careful planning to ensure balanced nutrient intake. A real-world example of what living in an underwater colony could mean for human biology would be the case of scientist Joe Dituri, who lived underwater for 100 days to study the effects of increased pressure on human biology. Dituri, who broke the record for time spent living underwater without depressurization, noted effects like stress levels overall in his body decreasing, the inflammatory markers, every single one had been cut by almost half, his height shrunk by almost 3/4 of an inch, and his cholesterol is down by 73 points. This gives us an insight of what to expect. Developing specialized technology to address pressure, temperature, and other environmental factors. Regular health monitoring and medical interventions to manage physiological and psychological changes. Over long periods, there might be genetic or epigenetic changes in response to the unique environment, leading to potential evolutionary adaptations. Living in underwater colonies would necessitate a range of biological adaptations to cope with high pressure, altered light and temperature conditions, different breathing gas mixtures, and the psychological impact of isolation. But what we know now is that continuous research and technological innovation would be essential to support human health and well-being in this environment.